People have spoken. Brexit means Brexit. Hey guys, it's Gameface here, and welcome to episode 1 of my Tottenham career mode. Now in today's episode, of course, we are going to be starting up a new career mode with Tottenham. The series is kind of called Brexit means Brexit, which is obviously something that you guys voted for. Brexit won again, I suppose. This series is going to be a little bit different. I've put in some sort of constraints. It's going to be the last sort of FIFA 18 series that we see on this channel before we move into FIFA 19. But like I say, there are going to be some sort of certain rules that you have to go by, with the series obviously being called Brexit means Brexit. You can only use English, Welsh, Scottish or Northern Ireland players in this squad. So the way it works is in your 18 players that you have, so your starting 11 and your bench, you can only have home nation players included in the match squad basically. So it's going to be a little bit tricky to begin with because we don't have loads of home nation players, as you'll see in a second, but I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good series. Like I say, you guys voted for it, so we are going to see how we get on here. You're going to have to sign a lot of players in this transfer window to try and overhaul the squad. Before we go any further though, if we could try and hit 100 likes on the first episode of this series, I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already as well, because we are trying to hit 20k subs at the moment, trying to get to that milestone. Let's crack on with things. Let's take a look at the team that I currently have to use and the sort of players that we have in the individual positions. So Whiteman's our best goalkeeper that we have. That's obviously a home nation player. So we're going to have to find a replacement for him. I've already identified a few players, which I'll show you in a minute. Kieran Trippier, Eric Dyer, Ben Davies, Rose at the back. Not ideal, need to bring in a few centre-backs by the looks of it. I'd rather have Ben Davies as a left-back as opposed to a centre-back, but he can play there if we want to. Skip, who I've never heard of in midfield, alongside Harry Winks, that needs to be strengthened too. And then Edwards and Bennett out wide, who also need strengthening quite clearly. Dele Alli and Harry Kane are fine as our two attacking players, but it's clear where we need to strengthen centre-backs, centre-mids and wingers basically. So that's my main priority. The bench looks a little bit like this. Obviously Vorm is not home nation, neither is Lamela, neither is Aurier, but there are a few youngsters that we've got on there. We need to try and improve those players though, because we do have a lot of players that are going to have to leave us, which means that some of your favourite players, if you are a Tottenham fan, some of your favourite players will be leaving. This probably isn't the series for you if you want to see all the Tottenham players kept together, because we are going to have to make a huge overhaul of the squad, but it's going to be really interesting. I've listed a lot of different players that can come help us out. It's just about being able to sign them quickly enough and having the money to be able to bring them in. So we've got about £100 million to spend basically. Jack Butland's going to be the first guy we make a move for. Goalkeeper is very important, especially when the other guy's 54 overall. So we're going to begin negotiations to try and sign him. I'm not going to go ahead with this release clause at 29 million. We're going to try and get him for less than that. Hopefully, I mean, is Lloris going to be too much? Possibly. Might be better with a different deal. Yeah, he's going to be a bit over the top, I think, is giving him Lloris. Maybe chuck in Vorm, see what they say to that, possibly. No, they want a striker. Okay, maybe they can take Llorente off our hands then. £6 million, they interested? Yeah, okay. 22 million as well. It's not a great amount. 15 maybe? Can we do 15? Come on. No, 22.1. £17 million, come on. Oh, is that negotiating Brexit, is this? Jesus. Help me out a little bit. 18. Come on. Yes, that's a better offer. £18 million plus Llorente. Not too bad there for Jack Butland. Total value of about £24 million, which is better than obviously his release clause at 29. So we did save ourselves a bit of cash. Let's move on to negotiating his wage now and see whether we can try and get something done there. I'm just going to go straight away for 70 grand. It might be a little bit overkill, but I just want to sign him up and make sure we have no issues there. He wants 51, but he wants some bonuses. Let's say 51 and signing on bonus. Somebody says he wants 60 now. Happy to do 60. I think that's not too bad for Butland. He's obviously got a bit of growth in him, and Jack Butland signs for us. And there we have it. New goalkeeper, 81 overall. Really, really happy with that. Very solid goalkeeper. He's never going to be as good as Lloris straight away, but there's obviously plenty of time for him if he does grow. And there's not like there's a massive deal of fantastic world-class keepers we have to choose from, but Jack Butland's certainly up there. Okay, so I don't want to turn this series into just like an England team, so I am going to be looking at other players as well that will be able to help us out. One of those players is Gareth Bale. I'm going to try and make a move for Gareth Bale from Real Madrid. It's going to be a very tough deal. I'm thinking maybe Eriksen, maybe Lloris. It depends who they're interested in order to try and bring him in. It's going to have to be someone of high value, though, to interest them. But let's see whether we can bring him back to White Hart Lane or Wembley, wherever we are. But here we go. Let's try an offer. Yeah, we'll go with that. £65 million is not a bad deal already. I mean, it might be a straight trade. Let's see what they say to that. No? A right winger. It's not very helpful for us. But I mean, we've got Lucas, I suppose. That's not too bad. See what they say to Lucas. And £85 million. Right, that is just ridiculous. About 65. Come on. 65 is a good deal. No? 70. Come on. 73.8. We're getting somewhere now. Let's get him in for 71 and Lucas. Got to accept it. It's a brilliant deal. No, 72. Go on. Yes, £72 million. And Lucas, Gareth Bale could join us here if we get the contract right. Okay, so 4-year deal, crucial first team player, wage of 320 grand, signing a bonus of 4.6 million. A bit more than I wanted to do, but we'll submit that offer, see what they say to that. Wants a slight increase in his wage there, we'll accept it. And Gareth Bale rejoins Tottenham. Fantastic news for us. A really big signing. We need another winger to come in. We need a few wingers, to be honest, but Gareth Bale will certainly help us massively in that sort of position. It does leave us in a bit of a difficult place now, money-wise, £5 million and 22 grand on the wage, but there's still a lot of big players to sell. Still Lloris, still Eriksen, still a number of other players, Son, Dembele, loads and loads of players to get rid of still. So I'm not too worried. I'm just hoping we get the bids in, but there are certainly areas of the pitch that now we need to start thinking about finding alternatives. Okay, so I'm not going to make any more immediate signings just yet. I'd rather wait for some scout reports to come in over the next sort of 6 to 9 days. Because a lot of these guys are from the Premier League, so it shouldn't take too long to get scout reports coming back in. Happy with those 2 initial signings. We'll move on to centre-backs, I think, next, because it's not ideal having 2 players out of position in those areas of the pitch. So we'll move on to centre-backs, then centre-mids, then, of course, we look at the left winger and right-back probably again. So yeah, we need to do a few different things. First of all, I do want to actually take a look at our scouting system. We need to set that up. We need to get that going if we want to eventually fill the whole squad full of home nation players. So let's see what we've got here. Can we hire? Oh, I was going to go for a home nation scout, but we won't bother with that. We'll just go Danish scout, and we'll try and just scout some English players, I think, to begin with. We can also take a look at Northern Ireland, though, and we can actually do Scotland. We can't do Wales, which is a bit weird. We'll focus on England, though, to begin with. 9-month period, and see what that brings us back. Do we have any more cash to bring anybody else in? Oh, not really great, are they? Okay, we've got this Portuguese guy, and hopefully he'll find us some decent players in Scotland, but it's unlikely. We won't bother scouting Northern Ireland just yet. We'll focus on just keeping a hold of a bit more of our cash if we need it. But there are a number of different players we still need to sign, so we've got to make sure we're getting these signings right. I'm looking forward to seeing what those scout reports bring back actually next month, and that'll be the first of every single month. And they'll actually be quite important players for us, because like I say, I want to try and populate the whole squad full of home nation players. We need to try and move on quite a lot to be able to do that though. Okay, loads of scout reports coming back on a number of different players. We're going to take a look at all of them now. Still got to wait a few more days for a couple of other players coming in, but centre-backs will be our next priority. Lascelles is the guy I'm trying to move for, and I think a £12 million bid's just been put in for him. We're going to have to try and snatch that deal. It's going to be difficult. Maybe we can find some sort of trade deal. Okay, so we just offered Wanyama to try and sign Lascelles, but they're not interested in that. They want a centre-back, which is not helpful at all because our centre-backs are far too expensive to be just trading them out like this, but I'm going to have to do it. It's kind of forced my hand. Davinson Sanchez, obviously, as much as he's got fantastic overall age and value, he's not going to be part of the series. He's not a home nation player from Colombia, so it's best if we try and trade him out, even though it's a ridiculous sort of value and we're overpaying. It's going to have to be a straight trade in order to try and bring in Lascelles. It is one of those sort of deals where you've had to pay over the odds. The deal had already been agreed with Villarreal, so we had to try and snatch him, and it seems like we might just be able to do it here. We're going to go, I think, rotation. I like to underplay it if we can. Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay, and then 78 grand a week, so obviously quite a big increase for him. And Asani on bonus. We're going to go ahead and submit it. He wants 86 to make it even worse. It's ridiculous. He's 78 overall. He gets 86 grand a week. We'll accept it though. He'll join us. Davinson Sanchez goes to Newcastle. But it's a deal, again, we're pretty much forced to do. I was looking at Harry Maguire, but he's recently joined, so we can't sign him in this window. John Stones has recently joined, apparently, as well, so we can't sign him right now. Maybe in August we might be able to. But yeah, Johnny Evans is probably the next one we're going to have to go for. But there's not loads and loads of decent centre-backs in terms of overall, so it's going to be a tough one, is this? But the main thing is we have brought in an actual centre-back now, which is helpful. So Lascelles comes in. It also means we've now got a bench full of home nation players, which is good. So Ben Davies can now get on the bench as well. And that makes it look marginally better. Yeah, I mean, the starting lineup needs improving still. Need another centre-back. Need another centre-mid. Need a lot of positions. But we have to try and sell some players, clearly. I'm just hoping, like, Real Madrid come in for Eriksen. Nearly. It's PSG who've come in for Eriksen. Okay, £87.2 million. This is exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to have to transfer list him. I wanted to get pure cash for him at a really good price. 130 maximum. That's more like it. Let's negotiate with PSG. Let's just try and milk them of as much money as possible, because I could really do with some cash to bring in some new players here. Let's propose a new transfer fee. I just don't want them to walk out the room. I know there's other teams, obviously, that could cough up this sort of cash, but let's see what they say to 125. I don't want to say 130. Let's just go with that. 100 million. That's more like it. 120, shall we say. I'd let him go for £120 million. I'm quite happy with that. Okay, they're creeping up. 118. Come on. Come on. No! Oh, no. I forced him out of the room and he's left. And that's the end of those negotiations. Yeah, £10 million. That was the difference. Let's just hope Real Madrid turn up and put in a bid. Okay, so let's do some play drills now. It's probably quite important to try and train some of the players up that are maybe not quite as good, so they can probably help us out in a squad role. Obviously that'll be the case for Walker Peters and obviously Oakley Booth and Edwards as well, and particularly Harry Winks actually, who needs to obviously be increased a little bit if he's going to help us out in this squad. So I'll get training those guys up over the next few weeks and months and hopefully get some sort of result from them. Okay, so I've transfer listed a lot of players now. Not everyone's being transfer listed. The higher value players haven't been transfer listed because I want to try and maximise the amount of money from them. So hopefully teams just approach us for players like Ericsson and obviously Son as well. So I have transfer listed basically everyone else that I could find that I thought needed transfer listing right now. There's like the likes of Vorm, Dembele and Lamela obviously are going to be the main ones bringing us some money. But yeah, like I say, the other high value players that are going to be left off the transfer list, including Vertonghen and Alderweireld, trying to get as much money from those guys as possible. Just got to wait and see if we get any bids in at this point. Okay, so I'm trying to sign Klein at the moment. I've offered them Aurier. He's obviously a very similar value sort of player. He's actually worth a little bit more, but they want £10 million on top of that, which is not something that I've got. So we're probably not going to get that far with this deal. But he is close to joining another team. I want to try and stop that happening if possible, because I do want to try and sign Klein. So we have Klein and Trippier, which would be quite a good combination. It's just looking unlikely right now. I don't think want to decrease it that much. And even if we do agree a fee, wages we're probably not going to be able to pay. Let's go £5 million. We shouldn't be too far away now. He has accepted it, but like I say, it's going to be tough to get that one across the line with just 10 grand in the wage. He's got a big wage and he's going to want bonuses on top of that. Basically, we have a week to try and sell someone. And speaking of selling someone, a bidding for Son from Bayern Munich. We've just got to get this deal over the line now. Up to £70 million for him. The bid is at the low end of things, so we are going to negotiate that. Try and see if we can get a bit more for him. Don't think we'll get 70. Between 50 and 60 is what I'm aiming for. So we're not too far away from that sort of range. Let's say 65. Again, I don't want to just force them out of the room straight away. That's my worry when I'm asking for so much. 58 million. Come on. Let's get this done. Okay, we're getting closer. 56.8. Come on. Come on. Yes, there we go. 56.8 has been agreed. Can we get him sold in the next couple of days so we can actually get the deal tied up for Klein? If we can, that would be incredible. We're also not going to get all that £56.8 million. We'll get some of it, though. That helps with other signings as well. But happy if we can get that one over the line before the deal collapses. I think the deal might collapse. We might have to wait another week to be able to sign Klein, in which case he might have already gone to a different club at that point. So yeah, it's difficult when he's also negotiating with Valencia. I just don't think we're going to be quick enough deal to sign him. We have got ourselves a transfer offer in here, though, for one of our centre-backs. I'm just going to accept it there from Morecambe. Hopefully something can be agreed. Play drills this week. See Walker Peters go up to 67 overall. It's good news to see some progress there. Harry Winks not too far off. Same with Oakley Booth. So looking forward to that over the next couple of weeks. Okay, let's take a look at some youth academy players that have been scouted and whether we want to actually bring them into our youth academy. John Young looks very, very good actually. We'll sign him up. He could be a very good player for us. Ian Walker, unfortunately, doesn't have a picture, but we'll sign him up anyway for now and we'll reject the rest. Some English players and no English players that are any good. So having said that, I thought we'd maybe find it difficult to find good players in Scotland. We actually found ourselves getting a much better scout report. Okay, so Son's been sold, and just as that happens, negotiations are over for Klein. We've got to wait a week now and just hope that nothing gets agreed with Valencia, which I think is unlikely, but £50 million added onto the budget nevertheless, so we do get that money in for Son, which is pretty good. Does leave us now in a much better position, but it's just frustrating that we're going to have to wait a while to be able to negotiate with Klein again. Okay, the next player I want to try and sign is John Stones. He can now be signed, now we've got into August, so I think it's going to have to be Jan Vertonghen and Alderweireld, one of the two. It's obviously better if we do Vertonghen because he's worth a little bit less. John Stones is worth up to about £28 million, so it's not miles off the mark, but not ideal, obviously. They don't even want him. They want a left-back, and I don't have a left-back. Okay, let's just go transfer fee and let's just go £20 million, see what Man City say to that. John Stone's probably the best overall centre-back I can get, I think, that's from the home nations, so quite important we do try and get him if possible. I think maybe Chris Smalling might be similar sort of overall as well, but certainly he's one of the better ones and will help us play out for the back. £21 million, it's agreed, that's fantastic news for us. And hopefully we can get something sorted now. Okay, 105 grand a week, 5-year deal, signing a bonus of £1.5 million. Let's submit that, see what he says to it. He wants 110. and that should be John Stones signed up now for us. Really, really pleased to get that deal over the line. Was worried that we would maybe have to wait a little bit longer to be able to sign him, but we've got him in August. Just happy that he joins the club. 80 overall, and obviously completes the centre-back partnership of him and obviously Lascelles. But we do still need, I think, another centre-back or two, because we're hardly sort of flooded with centre-backs. So we have to sign some sort of younger players, some players that aren't as good in overall. But it is good to see now that Eric Dyer will move into midfield as a consequence of that as well. So it looks a little bit better in midfield now, especially with John Stones and Lascelles behind them. Okay, this is some good news for us. Toby Alderweireld, a bid in for him from Man United. Let's try and negotiate something here. Up to £61 million. If we can get close to that, then that'd be great. If we can get over 50, that'd be fantastic. Let's just start it at like 56. 55 should we go with? I don't want to put them off once again, so let's just see what they say to that. Yes, 55. Let's do it. Let's get him out the door and let's get some more cash in. Okay, that's just worried me slightly. First game is in 4 days' time against Newcastle. Hadn't quite realised that was the case. Yeah, this could be quite interesting. We are going to have to sign some players pretty quick. Fantastic news for us that Klein has rejected Valencia by the looks of it, so we might be able to agree something now. I don't want to pay his release clause, so we'll just continue negotiations. Can't actually remember what deal we tried to get going with the last time round. Let's see what happens this time round. 16.5, £9.5 million. Like I said, I've completely forgotten what amount we tried to negotiate. So I'm just going to say like 6 or something. Go on, go for 6. 9.5. 7. Go on. 7.6. 7.4. Yeah? Go on. Yes, here we go. £7.4 million. Plus Aurier, that should get us Klein now if we can negotiate his contract. Still waiting to get the money in for, or waiting for, was it Alderweireld to be sold to United? So we'll wait and see if that does happen. Hopefully things can be agreed there. Important first team player is good. And let's try and get him signed. 96 grand, he wants 105, let's get that signed now. And Nathaniel Klein has joined Tottenham. It's another right back that I wanted to bring in. It's important to have two good right backs. I know obviously we have Walker-Peters, but I want him to be able to float between right back and left back, which he can do. So maybe some people might say this is not a sort of necessity, but I do want to have two good full-backs on either side because you play a lot of games, you want to compete in a lot of competitions, and you can't really rely on someone like Walker-Peters just yet. So we are going to bring Klein in, and he might even start over Trippier. Based on overall, he will. We'll stick Klein there, and like I say, I'll also probably drop... I'll drop the goalkeeper, to be honest. I don't have a goalkeeper on the bench. Also, you've got to bear in mind that Ben Davies will occasionally have to play as a centre-back for us right now. So Kyle Walker-Peters will end up obviously playing as a left-back to fill in for him if we ever need it. So that might be the case, and it's not too bad having three right-backs. That's fine. Next position you probably want to look at is... I mean, left mid's obviously the one that seems pretty obvious for us to take a look at, but also centre mid's worrying me slightly. Edwards might be fine for a left mid. He's left-footed, so that won't be too bad there. But yeah, we definitely could do with a centre mid and a left mid. Another few centre backs probably won't be too bad either. Okay, so I'm going to sub to the Newcastle game, and hopefully Alderweireld gets sold by then, and then we have some more money. We already have still a good amount, but you haven't been sold either. So that's not good news for us. We do still have £38 million, so it's not like we can't sign anybody else now for this game, but I do just want to try and bring in some vital players. We could do with a few more, definitely. We're going to move for a left mid, I think. My original plan was to bring in Sessegnon. I don't know if you actually can now. He was recently joined, but can we bring him in? Wait, is there anyone else I want to bring in instead, though? We'll go Sessegnon. Seems like we can bring him in, which is fantastic news from Fulham. And he can obviously play as a left winger, left back. We're going to play as a left mid, so technically out of position, but we'll go with that anyway. Do we go cash or play a swap? Who can we offer them? Sissoko, maybe? Would there be interest in him? Yeah, Sissoko has £7 million. Okay, that would help get one out the door at the same time. I'm happy to try and tie this deal up for like 4.5. Seems like an okay amount. What are they going to say? Yeah, no, a sound clause of 12% though. Okay, done. Let's get that deal over the line. Let's try and get him confirmed here as well. Okay, wants a release clause. We're going to deny the release clause. Not interested in that at all. But 5-year deal anyway, and let's move forward now with his wage situation. Not too sure what he's going to want. I'm just going to basically double his wage at 50 grand. Should be okay. Let's see, 41.5. Submit that with a signing on bonus. He wants 43. We'll get that deal sorted. And Sessegnon will join us now before this game against Newcastle. It's a very, very good signing for us. Gets rid of a player as well as bringing in a player that we need in that sort of position. Great growth, 17 years old, and I think a really, really good signing for us. To have two really fast wingers on either side is going to be fantastic. Looking forward to using that in game. Gareth Bale and obviously a fantastic player in Sessegnon. So yeah, we're looking a little bit better now. Still the bench is disastrous really. But we are just going to continue to try and sign players over the next couple of episodes, obviously, until we finish the window. But I think we're looking pretty strong. We will obviously start the league campaign next episode. I think we might still have a signing or two left in us for this episode. It depends if we've got the sort of cash at the moment to bring in a good enough centre mid. Okay, we're going to make a move for Tom Kearney. He's actually better overall than I thought. 78 overall is very, very good. Centre mid will obviously help us out massively in that position. So we're going to go player swap, midfielder. And do we have anyone that we can actually offer us a similar price? Not really. Wanyama's tempting just to get the deal over the line. Not even interested in him. Not a left back, which again we don't have. Okay, let's just offer £15 million. I want to try and get the deal done here. They have accepted it, probably overpaying slightly, but we'll go with it anyway. Try and get a deal agreed if we can on his wage. Let's offer him 75 grand a week here and see what he says to that. 4-year contract at the moment. Not too far away, maybe. Yeah, he's accepted it. Not surprised. It was quite an increase for him, but happy that he joins the club. It was important we signed him up. And he's a player I've never used before in games, so I'm waiting to see what he's going to be like. I know he's not a particularly fast player, but he's technically quite good. 26 years old. It was obviously important to bring in a Scottish player and someone else, not just English players. So happy we've managed to do that. And there'll be more players from other home nation teams coming in as well. There'll be Johnny Evans, I hope, next episode, if we can sort something out there. But yeah, just pretty impressed that we've got that deal sorted before the end of today's episode. I think for now, though, we'll leave any more offers and any more sort of transfers for next time round. There's still a lot of players still to sign. You can see our bench is not looking particularly great still, so that needs to be improved. We are now starting to build up a number of different English players, though, as you can see here, that don't make the bench. So we're building up a squad. They're just not very good at the moment. But that will be everything for today's episode. Thank you all so much for watching. If we could try and hit 100 likes, then I'd really appreciate it. Also, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel or you just haven't yet. And that'd be absolutely fantastic too. Trying to hit 20,000 subscribers as my next landmark. So I'd appreciate you doing that. I'll see you guys next time for another episode. Goodbye.